We are back. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are glad you could join us for week 2, day 1 of the Smart Restart Virtual Parent Conference 2020. Our second session for the evening is School Lunch and Student Nutrition During a Pandemic. It will be presented by Dr. Michael Rosenberger. Dr. Rosenberger has been an educator for the past 26 years. He has been with Dallas ISD for almost 4 years, serving currently as the Executive Director of Food and Child Nutrition Services. So without further ado, Mr. Rosenberger, if you're ready, I'll allow you to take the wheel.
All right, thank you for that very kind introduction, Dr. Johnson. And I want to say hello and thank you to all the parents joining us this afternoon. You know, this COVID-19 epidemic has changed many things. A lot of us have had family or friends personally affected. A lot of us may have been affected employment-wise or job-wise, or had family or friends who have been. And certainly our social lives and the things we used to do for fun have changed dramatically. But one thing that has not changed is we all still get hungry and we all have to eat. And in that light, the Dallas ISD Food Service Department will be here always for your children to make sure that your children are receiving the healthiest, most nutritious meals that help boost student achievement. And that's our commitment to you. So while the world may be going kind of crazy, you can always count on meals for your children, whether they are in school or not in school. So with that, let's take a look at boy, it seems like a long time ago, before COVID-19. Well, one really cool thing about food service here in Dallas ISD, all students eat for free. And that is continuing into the 2021 school year. So your children will get breakfast and lunch at no cost. And for any after-school dinner programs, they will get dinner at no cost as well. And so before COVID-19, we were feeding a lot of your children, making sure that they had the nutrition that they needed to be successful, both in the classroom and in extracurricular activities that your children may have been involved in. And then all of a sudden, next slide please, came COVID-19. And so as we look at the 2021 school year, I'd like to share with you what the plan is to make sure that your children get breakfast and lunch, and again, dinner as may be offered. For students attending school, when students do come back to school, breakfast service will be after the bell. And that's a big change from regular breakfast service. Normally breakfast was either served directly in the classroom, or students would go to either a kiosk or the cafeteria for breakfast. That's all going to change so that we can ensure students are socially distant, properly socially distanced, and make sure that we have a safe breakfast environment for all students. So what will happen is your children will report to their classroom. Once the school day has begun, either a breakfast cart will go down the hallway and deliver breakfast to the classrooms, or students will, with their teacher's supervision, go to kiosks that we have set up throughout each campus. In one of those two ways, we will have breakfast every single day for your children. Lunch service is going to be one or more of 3 different options. So for lunch service, one option is going to be students getting their lunch in the cafeteria and eating in the cafeteria. All of our cafeterias will have plexiglass barriers set up and they will have socially distant seating available for students. So it is absolutely safe for your children to eat in the cafeteria. However, your campus principal may decide to have some lunch in the cafeteria and some lunch in the classroom. And in those cases, we will be delivering lunch to every single classroom that the principal wants us to do lunch in the classroom for. Or a third option for lunch is that students will report either to the cafeteria or to a kiosk. They will get their lunch and then bring their lunch to the designated lunch space at school. And that may be a classroom, or it may be some other area that your principal has determined is a good place for students and a safe place for students to eat lunch. So again, one breakfast option, breakfast after the bell for all students, up to 3 possible options for lunch service, depending on the principal and the campus and how we can best keep your children safe during meal service. Now for students all of this is for students attending school, and this is their breakfast and lunch plan. We have a separate group of students, depending on the return to school. We may have a separate group of students who are full-time virtual learners. And for the full-time virtual learners, what we will do is we will supply a week's worth of breakfast and lunch 1 day per week. And during that 1 day per week, a parent or guardian can report to the campus and pick up 5 breakfasts and 5 lunches for their children. Now, to be eligible for the virtual learning meals, your child or children have to be enrolled as full-time virtual students. And we will also need your student's ID number when you come to pick up meals for your student. So again, for students who are full-time virtual, we will be supplying 1 week's worth of breakfast and lunch, 1 day per week. You will need your children's student ID number to get the meals, but we're looking forward to that. So again, whether your children are attending school in person or they're attending school virtually, we will have free meals available for your children. So again, for the in-person learning, and here's a picture. It may be kind of hard to see, but there are plexiglass barriers, and you can see face masks. The students have taken off their face mask, and they will be getting their lunch shortly with plexiglass barriers and socially distanced seating in the cafeteria. So again, for students who are at school, they may eat in the cafeteria, they may eat in the classroom, or they may get their meals and bring their meals to their designated eating space. Each principal is going to be able to decide the options that work best for their particular campus. And this is a picture actually from our current COVID-19 meals program. This is the program we're running now, that we provide 5 breakfasts and 5 lunches on a single day of service. And the meal program for virtual students will be very similar to the COVID-19 meals program that we're offering now. Parents can either drive up or they can walk up, depending what best suits parents, and they can receive, again, a week's worth of food absolutely free for all of their Dallas ISD student children. I also want to mention, even though this is not a specific Dallas ISD food service program, if you're not aware, there is a food benefit called the EBT Benefit, the Pandemic Electronic Benefit Transfer. And what this does is it's a one-time food benefit. It makes $285 available for all Dallas ISD students with children to help families buy food during the COVID-19 crisis. You can apply for this, and all students who attend Dallas ISD are automatically eligible for this one-time benefit. If you have not yet applied for this one-time benefit, you can go to hhs.texas.gov/EBT to claim your $285 per child one-time benefit to help you get food during this COVID-19 epidemic. So the website in this presentation will be available afterwards for your benefit. And if you have not yet received this, I strongly encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. Again, $285 per child goes directly to you to help buy food for your children during this COVID-19 outbreak. So again, what is our mission in school food service? Our goal is to provide nutrition to students that fuels successful learning. And what that means is we serve meals that boost student performance. Numerous studies have shown that children who eat a healthy breakfast and healthy lunch perform better across all measures than children who do not. They perform better academically, they have better attendance, they have better behavior, they have fewer trips to school nurses. And so we strongly encourage you to encourage your children, hey, start your day with a healthy school breakfast, have a healthy school lunch to keep you pumped up and ready to learn and perform well. And then at schools where we offer dinner, take advantage of that. And the best thing is all of these meals are served at no cost. Again, we are here for you and for your children during this COVID-19 outbreak, and certainly as we enter the 2021 school year. And so with that, I'll be happy to take any questions that you have. Thank you.
It is now time for our interactive Q&A session with Dr. Rosenberger regarding school lunch and student nutrition. Just like before, I will ask him a few of the most frequent questions asked by our parents and attendees during the presentation. Dr. Rosenberger, if it is okay with you, we can dive right in.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay. First question. Will students eat in the classroom or the cafeteria?
It is up to each school principal to designate where students will eat lunch. My expectation is that it will be a combination, at least in most schools, of students eating in the classroom and in the cafeteria.
Okay. How will social distancing be enforced in either location, the classroom or the cafeteria, since masks will be off?
Well, the only time masks will be off is when students actually sit down to eat. If the serving lines are open in the campus where parents may have children attending, we will have a monitor at the front of the lines, making sure that it's only one student for every 6 feet. So the lines will be monitored to make sure that proper social distancing is followed. And then, like I said, the cafeteria tables have a combination of plexiglass barriers, which isolate student from other students. Mm-hmm. And also certain seats are going to be blocked off, much like Mr. Sandoval explained on school buses. Certain seats will be blocked off in the cafeteria to 100% ensure student safety during meal periods. Back to the classroom, all of the desks and all of the seating arrangements for students are already socially distanced. And in the classroom, teachers will ensure that students are correctly socially distanced during meal periods as well as throughout the school day. It's going to be a team effort, but we are going to keep your children safe.
Okay, thank you. Will students still be able to bring their own lunch to school?
Yes, students will continue to be able to bring their own lunch to school.
I'm going to go through all of the safety concern type questions, and then we'll go to the general questions, if that's okay with you, Dr. Rosenberg.
Sure. Sounds great.
How will students be separated if the partitions are only on the tables? Students will tend to sit close together.
Again, seats are going to be marked off in addition to the partitions. So between those two, we will ensure correct social distancing, and we will be positive that students are correctly socially distanced. Some cafeterias have removable chairs, and chairs will be removed from cafeterias as needed, again, to ensure safe social distancing for all students.
If parents have children in 3 different elementary schools, do they have to go to all 3 schools to pick up the lunch, or can they just go to one of the schools?
We will be releasing a list of schools that parents can go to pick up meals. No, parents will not need to go to all 3 schools to pick up meals for their students. In fact, within the next week or two, we will be introducing a food ordering system by which parents can go online, either with their phone or computer, and they can put in an order for meals to be picked up, and they can select the campus, and they can select the time that they will be there to pick up the meals. And that way, we'll be 100% sure to have specific meals for specific children at specific schools. And we look forward to introducing this system shortly, and we think it will help parents be able to, more effectively and efficiently, just go to one place, pick up all the food for your children, and bam, you're done for the week.
Great, I bet they're glad to hear that. Next, will the food be the same for the in-person learning and the virtual learning for those that come and pick up and the ones that are actually in-person learning at the school? Will those school lunches be the same?
For the first several weeks of school, the food will be exactly the same. And then we will be looking at our menu planners will be looking at menus, and there might be some small variation once we get further into the school year. And I do need to add, students will see some differences in the school menu. For example, at a lot of schools, we have salad bars that are self-serve salad bars. Those will be gone because we cannot ensure safety with COVID-19. And then some of the open food or the self-serve options will also be gone. The food will be more individually packed, individual portions for maximum safety for all students and for staff during meal periods.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have some general questions for you, just about school lunch in general. First, one more safety question first that I forgot. How will secondary schools handle all of the school lunches, considering they have larger populations?
Well, we're really interested to see, first of all, how many students will be attending in-person class as opposed to full-time virtual students. But we will have plenty of staff, and we'll have the right safety procedures in place to make sure that lunch is served quickly with great customer service, and really taking care of kids. One thing that we talk a lot about in the department is we don't just feed the belly, we also feed the heart. And I know a lot of parents listening right now, hey, we all know when we cook, love is the secret ingredient. And so all of our staff are going to be there, not just feeding the belly, but also feeding the heart. These are kind of scary times for all of us. And so we're going to be there extra special, taking care of children from pre-K to seniors.
Thank you. Okay, just a couple of other questions. Will parents ever be able to pick their meal preferences for their child in the future? Do you foresee that?
Yes. In fact, the ordering system that I just talked about a moment ago, by which parents of full-time virtual students can order the student meals ahead of time to pick up later, that is our first step into parents being able to pre-order regular school lunches for their children. So we definitely anticipate soon a time where a parent could go in and pick out, okay, I want my children, I want my child to have the grilled chicken sandwich with the baby carrots and the side tossed salad, et cetera, et cetera. We definitely anticipate that coming shortly. The first step is getting this system down for full-time virtual students, but yes, that's coming.
Okay, great. And what about vegan meals or special diets? Do you foresee that being a part of the plan too, and different options such as almond milk?
First of all, we do offer at least one vegetarian entree every single day. And a student at any time at lunch can create a vegetarian lunch by not choosing, let's say, an entree that has meat. They could get salad, all fruits and vegetables on the side, et cetera, et cetera. But we are working to expand our vegetarian and non-meat options because more and more students are adopting a non-meat lifestyle for various reasons. And that certainly goes to special diets as well. We have several dietitians on staff. One of their jobs is if your child has a medical condition that requires a modified diet, that's what our dietitians work on. So you can talk to your school nurse. You can fill out a form to get a special diet for your child, and we will be there 110% with a custom diet for your child based on your child's medical needs.
Okay, great. Well, that concludes our second session of the evening. We'd like to thank Dr. Rosenberger for his willingness to present and share essential information about school lunch and student nutrition. Thank you, Dr. Rosenberger.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson.